Welcome to Superhero Pow! I'm your host nerd, Tom Fremgen. Alright, let's check out the new History of the DC Universe, issue number 3. This issue picks up with what was basically the end of the original history from 1986, the post-crisis era, the forming of the Justice League International, and the Suicide Squad. Now, as I mentioned before, the original history of the DC Universe was meant to explain DC's new history after the crisis of the Infinite Earths, when the 5 remaining universes merged together into one universe at the dawn of time. Now, this new history seems to just explain how all the reboots work together, as it now says, no, there was a multiverse, and it was destroyed just like in the comic books. But there was no merging of the remaining universes. Uncle Sam, Captain Marvel, Blue Beetle, the Justice Society, and the Justice League were always on the same Earth. And that was the only universe not destroyed in the crisis. And then everybody forgot that the crisis happened, or maybe they just forgot about the multiverse. I'm not sure. Anyway, where the last issues focused more on characters, this issue focuses more on stories, starting with The Invasion, Cosmic Odyssey, The Killing Joke, Armageddon 2000, The Death of Superman, and Nightfall. Then there's the birth of the Milestone heroes. Kyle Rayner becomes the new Green Lantern, as Hal Jordan goes all parallax evil, which of course then leads to Zero Hour, Hal Jordan's failed attempt to reshape the birth of the multiverse, which is odd because I thought they said nobody remembers the multiverse. Anyway, the next thing you know, it's the final night and Hal Jordan is dead. Along the way, they mention some new post-crisis heroes, I think, with Power Girl, a sole survivor of a universe destroyed in the crisis. Whether or not that Earth was Earth 2 is not known because they don't say. And then there's Booster Gold and Captain Marvel, the Captain, and Peacemaker, Will Payton Starman, Vero Dox and the Legion, the Huntress, and not the one Power Girl knows, and with Jason Todd getting killed, Tim Drake becomes Robin. Next, Superman and Lois Lane get married, the Birds of Prey and Young Justice are formed, and the Justice League regroups as the Justice League of America. So it wasn't the Justice League of America before, but now it is. I think. Next, everyone's favorite psycho Harlequin shows up, along with police detective Harvey Bullock, who I'm pretty sure originally showed up like 2 Robins ago. Then Lady Shiva's rape baby debuts as Cassandra Cain, the new Batgirl. Next, there's a new incarnation of the Justice Society of America with Stargirl, Sand, a new Mr. Terrific, and the new Hawkgirl. Then Lex Luthor becomes president, and dead Hal Jordan becomes the Spectre. Stories like the Tower of Babel, Hush, and Identity Crisis happen. And then Hal Jordan is back from the dead and Green Lantern again. Jason Todd is back from the dead, but now he's Red Hood. And Supergirl is back from the dead. Seemingly she was never erased from history, and everybody knows that she died in the crisis. But again, I thought everybody forgot what happened. Anyway, she's back now. Then we have the Infinite Crisis, where Alexander Luthor, from the destroyed Earth 3 from the crisis, tries to recreate the multiverse, with the help of Superman, who is from Power Girl's Earth, and Superboy from another former Earth that may or may not be Earth Prime. Anyway, Alexander Luthor somewhat succeeds, which is a change from the original story, where he just fails, but now he's managed to bring back the multiverse. Kinda. Anyway, we march forward with more modern heroes like Batwoman, a new Blue Beetle, a new Question, a new Atom, and Superman and Lois have a baby. In secret. Next, Batman's rape baby shows up as Damian Wayne, the new Robin. The Phantom Zone villains finally debut, which is like a massive change. and all the rainbow-colored power rings show up. The issue then wraps up with the final crisis, as Superman restores the dying multiverse with the help of the monitors of the multiverse. And if those beings are related to Perpetua and the Hands, it sure ain't mentioned here. So your guess is as good as any monkey with a typewriter. Lastly, at the back of the book is still the best part, Dave Wasgott's DC timeline, with help from Mark Waid and John Wells, which gets into more details and tells you the issue number of the stories listed in the front part of the book. Overall, this is a rather strange issue, as writer Mark Waid tries his best to explain while history has changed, those changes are all part of the history as well. Characters just go back and forth from remembering them, I think. As for the artists this time, Dan Jurgens and Doug Monks do a good job drawing all this chaos. One cute thing, though, I think they should have done, instead of getting Dan to draw the comic books that he had done and Doug to draw the comic books he had done, it would have been interesting to see them draw the pages that each other had done. You know, Dan draws the Darkest Night page and Doug draws the Death of Superman page. Anyway, that's how it all is now. Are you getting a better handle on DC's history and continuity? I can't say it's helping me much, and I'm starting to get very nervous about what's going to happen in the last issue. Either way, let me know how you feel about it. And thanks for spending time with me. And if you could be so kind to like, subscribe, and notify, I promise not to vote in the next election, because we all saw how it turned out last time.